A sitting United States senator has called for a full-scale military invasion of Los Angeles, California. Tom Cotton, in an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal opinion section, says, "Send in the troops for real. When local police can't restore order, the federal government has a duty to do so with an overwhelming show of force." Violent insurrectionists turned areas of Los Angeles into lawless hellscapes. It's about maybe 6 or 8 square blocks over the weekend, with anarchists setting fire to vehicles, throwing scooters and debris at police, not throwing scooters and debris, and looting businesses, all while waving flags, including the Confederate flag. Oh, wait, nope, I'm sorry. That was Trump supporters at the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. Despite the rising chaos, Governor Gavin Newsom, whose office likened the riots to a Philadelphia Eagles playoff victory celebration, accurate, and Mayor Karen Bass, who refuses to support federal law enforcement, haven't taken sufficient action to restore law and order. The chief of police of the LAPD, or the LAPD itself, put out a statement over the weekend saying that these protests were under control and they were mainly peaceful. And they had so much bandwidth in that arena that 50 LAPD officers marched in the Los Angeles Pride Parade on Sunday, indicating that they had the time, freedom to do so without negatively impacting their response to what was going on in Los Angeles at the time. Meanwhile, incredibly, Democrats and liberal media have again called this outbreak of violence mostly peaceful protests. They are mostly peaceful. That's just factually true, Senator. While in the same breath blaming the riots, arson, and looting on President Trump for enforcing immigration law. He started this. The New York Times described largely peaceful riots with fireworks fired at police cars set on fire and more than 150 arrests. That's an exaggeration. There were 10 people arrested on Saturday, and I know when I put up a TikTok Sunday afternoon, there had been 1 person arrested so far. The threat from the radical left is clear. Don't enforce immigration laws. Nobody has ever said that. Nobody has ever said that. Enforce the law. Do it legally. Due process. Due process. We've been begging you guys to follow the law. If you do enforce immigration law, left-wing street militias will burn down cities. Oh my God. Left-wing street militias. Senator, is Antifa in the room with us? And Democratic politicians will back the rioters. That's flatly untrue. The president is absolutely right to reject this threat, enforce immigration laws, and restore civil order. At the risk of sending liberals to their fainting couches, well, I mean, I would check that couch for evidence of J.D. Vance first. It may indeed be time to send in the troops. Let's look at the facts for some context. Tom Cotton is going to bring some facts. The latest enforcement operation in Los Angeles rounded up illegal alien criminals with lengthy rap sheets, all of whom worked in taquerias and Home Depots. You guys used flashbang grenades at a child's elementary school graduation party because somebody told you it was a Tren de Aragua gathering. Here we go. Democrats put such violent illegal aliens and their anarchist sympathizers ahead of the police, much like MAGA did at the Capitol on January 6th. Law-abiding citizens and legal immigrants whose communities are being terrorized. Is anyone surprised? Democrats stood idly by or even celebrated as the Black Lives Matter riots ransacked our cities 5 years ago. If anything, these riots are worse. At least the BLM rioters didn't wave foreign flags or the Confederate flags, Senator, from your home state. The solution is now the same as I said then, an overwhelming show of force to end the violence. As always, local police are the first line of defense, but when the police can't restore order or aren't permitted to by Democrat governors, the National Guard must be called out. We've reached this point in Los Angeles. Mr. Newsom is incompetent, ideological all at once, refused to mobilize the National Guard, leaving Mr. Trump with little choice but to federalize the California Guard to protect federal law enforcement agents and restore order. He has unquestioned legal authority to do so. Accurate, plus many precedents. Finally, if the Guard alone can't restore order and protect federal officers and property, the president can use active duty military troops under the Insurrection Act of 1807, a law almost as old as the Republic. Trump is acting as though he has invoked the Insurrection Act, but he doesn't have the balls to put it to paper. He doesn't have the balls to say it publicly. The only legal way for him to deploy 700 Marines to Los Angeles, as he has already done, is if he invokes the Insurrection Act, which again, he doesn't have the balls to do so publicly. Thus far, Mr. Trump has taken a measured approach and said he doesn't yet see the need to invoke the Insurrection Act. Why does he need to invoke it when he's already behaving as though it's already in place? Let's hope the National Guard, federal law enforcement, and local police can end the anarchy and restore order to Los Angeles. In addition to the overwhelming show of force, Congress needs to show our support for federal law enforcement, just like they did on January 6th and the years since. That is just fucking unbelievable to me that he put that in writing. He put that in writing. This week, I'm introducing legislation to stiffen penalties for rioters who attack law enforcement and to make riot-related crimes a deportable offense for non-citizens. You don't need that to deport non-citizens. Again, passing laws that are just redundant. Stiffen penalties for rioters who attack law enforcement. It's fucking mind-blowing that he put that in writing, too. Donald Trump pardoned 1,600 people who beat the shit out of cops at the Capitol, and you support that. You support that. You support that, Senator. You are the insurrectionist. You were the insurrectionist in following the 2020 election. You support Donald Trump pardoning people who beat the shit out of police. When white people do it who support Donald Trump, you think they should get a pardon. Anybody else, they should go to prison for the rest of their life or be sent to CCOT prison in El Salvador. The fucking hypocrisy of you people is absolutely stunning. Further, the Republican budget bill provides a huge funding boost to immigration authorities so they can secure our border and deport criminal illegal aliens out of our country. Yeah, all of whom seem to hang out at Home Depot, and children's elementary school birthday parties. These ideas are basic common sense, as was the case 5 years ago. The Democrats haven't learned. You haven't learned jack shit from January 6th, sport. It isn't inflammatory, as Mr. Newsom claimed, to enforce federal law, stand with law enforcement, again, and protect civilians. It's necessary to keep the peace. Again, unless it's January 6th at the Capitol, unless you're trying to keep a fat, corpulent, lazy, convicted felon, adjudicated rapist who lost control of his bowels and apparently now his bladder after that picture at the UFC fight the other night. That's who you're going to bat for, as opposed to supporting your own country. You served in the fucking military, dude. You've been violating your oath every single day since 2016.